What is going on, guys? This is Nick with Teach All Tech Tuesdays, and this week we're talking about the recent accidents that happened with Uber and Tesla's self-driving cars and ESPN launching their new streaming service. Let's start with the recent accidents with the cars. So what happened, the first one, in Arizona, Uber was doing self-driving car testing, basically where they're not ready to release it to the public yet. They're still trying to sort of get the kinks out of it. And the way it works is they load up these cars with cameras all over them, radars, everything that you could really think of that would assist with self-driving. And they let the cars drive around with someone inside who can grab the wheel at any minute just in case they need to. And basically what happened was there was a person who was walking their bike across a highway, like at least a 2-lane highway at night, and it wasn't a crosswalk or anything like that. It was just, your regular highway. And I'm not sure about the legality of if they were in the right doing that, just because I can't really think of any place that would allow someone to cross a highway with their bike just at a random spot, and especially in the middle of the night with no reflectors or lights or anything. So it's pretty difficult to see them from the video. And basically what happened was the Uber didn't detect this person in time, so the car didn't slow down or swerve out of the way. And you can see in the video, the driver, he looks like he's kind of just messing around on his phone while he's driving, or while he's monitoring the car driving itself. And it wrecks into this woman, and I think she either died right away or went to the hospital shortly after and died. So not a good look for Uber or for any of the self-driving cars. And something actually similar happened with Tesla too in California. An Apple engineer who was driving, he wrecked into a median, and from what there's no video for this one, but what I could gather from the story was that the Tesla had a broken crash attenuator, which I'm not sure exactly what that piece is, but it's something that helps determine the distance from other objects and something that assists with the self-driving. And Tesla's own data from the car said that this piece was broken from a previous accident that the driver got into, and it wasn't fixed. So it basically wasn't operating at full capacity, and it was kind of like the self-driving was handicapped because of this. So it raises a couple questions, mainly that people are, they get really upset when this kind of thing happens. But one thing you got to kind of think about is that car accidents happen all the time, and especially in the U.S., it's one of the leading causes of death is automobile accidents. And if this was big enough news that a car accident, you could put it as a headline in a story, every time that happened, it would just be in the papers every single day, all day. So people are pretty used to car accidents happening when there's a human driving and they don't get upset. But when it's a company doing this and it's corporate and profit,
and they're doing this to make money,
that kind of thing, people do tend to get a little bit more upset. So you kind of have to ask yourself, who is really at fault in these situations? Was it the person who was illegally crossing the road at night with their bike? Was it the person who was in a self-driving car but they took their hands off the wheel and they weren't looking at the road? That's kind of one way to look at it. And then as far as the Tesla goes, was it the driver's fault for not getting the car fixed? And did he even know that that piece, the attenuator, was broken? Is it Tesla's fault because they didn't do more to make sure the driver knew that this part of his car was malfunctioning? So it raises a lot of questions, and this is a really new field, so of course there's going to be a lot of changes, and with them developing regulation and whatnot, and the company's trying to regulate themselves. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. The current responses from this, though, Tesla's stock is dipping pretty hard. They currently, as of right now, they are below Ford in market cap. So that's a pretty big change because it was a milestone when they passed them. And Arizona is actually backing off from Uber's self-driving tests. They're not allowing them to do tests there anymore. So you can see it's kind of a reactionary policy right now. Nobody really has like a set way of their how they're going to handle this kind of problem. So we'll see. Just something to stay updated on. And another interesting thing, though, is the NTSB, National Transport Safety Board. They got mad at Tesla for releasing the details of the accident, because the way it works is that Tesla car actually was recording and storing a lot of data about what happened. And NTSB needs Tesla to decode this data, so they can't actually look at the data from the car without Tesla helping them to uncover what it actually means. So NTSB got mad that they were releasing details about the ongoing investigation when they've said that it's going to take weeks of field work and we're going to have to do preliminary reports, all this stuff. And I just thought it was kind of funny that the government agency got mad that this private company could do their job better and quicker than them. So I hope you get a laugh out of that if you're watching this. But okay, so on a positive note, ESPN. So they're coming out with its ESPN Plus, their own streaming service, and it's pretty cool. It's going to totally rival anything that is coming from your cable provider. If anyone still has cable, I know it's not really popular anymore. But they're going to try to just totally crush any sort of competing package because it's $5 a month, which I don't know any other streaming service for video that's that cheap, and especially one that's on-demand TV and live events. So I think this is going to be a really big service that they offer. And as some of you may know, ESPN is owned by Disney, and Disney really wants to crush Netflix. They said they're going to come out with their own Disney streaming service in June 2019. So we'll definitely be keeping our eyes peeled for that because that is going to be really exciting. And they already said it's going to be cheaper than Netflix. So it'll be really interesting to see how that comes out and how they roll it out. But this ESPN Plus, so there's no TV subscription required. You can watch it on mobile or you can watch it on the web. And it's pretty much every sport. So they said that, of course, baseball, football, hockey, tennis, even some of the smaller stuff. They're going to be doing college sports, and it's not going to be region locked, whereas some of your TV packages are. You can only watch local games, that kind of thing. So I think this is going to be a really big hit, and I'm curious to see how well it takes off. So just a couple questions I want to leave with you guys for this week's video. What do you think about these self-driving car accidents? Who do you think is liable? What do you think should be done to prevent something like this happening in the future? Should there be sort of a hard and fast rule about what happens when a self-driving car gets in an accident? And what if they not only get in an accident, but what if they kill the driver? What if they kill another person in a car? I'm curious what everyone else's thoughts on this are. And then also, what do you think about this ESPN streaming service? Is this something that you think you're going to do if you don't already have a cable package? So would you be willing to pay $5 a month? Or if you already have cable, would this be enough to encourage you to just cut cable because you only watch live sports? So I'm curious what you guys think. And I want to wish everyone a happy Easter. I hope you had a really good Sunday this week. And that's all we got for this week's Teach All Tech Tuesdays. So this is Nick logging off. Thanks.